man, Pete Davidson is on a Barry Bonds-like run. Some would say a Larsa Pippen-like run. Interesting. All right, welcome to Open Mic. We like to start the show with a few stories or a hot take on a story you're not likely to see anywhere else. I am from gorgeous Prince George's, and now I spill the tea in D.C., so you know these jokes come from a place of love. If in fact that was something I was still capable of. Let's start things off in D.C., where a viewer named David Bradwalker sent me a tweet with an image of Anita Baker's tour dates, which do not include Washington, D.C. The tweet read, "What's up with artists skipping D.C. more than Taylor Swift?" Wow, first Taylor Swift skipped D.C., now Anita Baker? Anita Baker! Anita Baker is Black America's official soundtrack to cleaning your house. D.C., we love you, Anita. Don't you do us like that. Whatever D.C. did to you, I apologize. We must have been caught up in the rapture, because no one in the world is going to love me like you do, Anita. Somebody just started wiping furniture with Pledge at the very mention of those songs. Now, this trend of musicians skipping D.C. is getting way out of control. First Taylor Swift, now Anita Baker. If Beyonce does it, the entire city is moving to Baltimore in protest. I'm just playing. It'll never get that bad. But one show that did come to D.C. to show a little bit of love this weekend was New Jack City Live, presented by Jacarius Johnson. Oh yeah, they have the entire 90s in this cast. There you see right there. Those were all the different phases of Reese Waters. There you have it. I want to thank you, Jacarius Johnson. You are your brother's keeper, CMB for life, and thank you for resurrecting my junior high school and elementary school days. Let's head to Paris for this next story. The mascots for the 2024 Paris Olympics and Paralympics have been revealed, and they went with hats. Yes, hats. H-A-T-S, hats. That's no cap, except they're totally caps, okay? Phrygian caps, to be exact. And by the way, a Phrygian cap, also known as a Liberty cap, is a symbol of freedom and the pursuit of liberty. You remember freedom fries? Well, freedom hats have entered the chat. Now, if the French wanted to choose an inanimate object for their mascot, I mean, they should have just chosen croissants. I mean, who don't like croissants? The only people who don't love those are every people with gluten allergies, and quite frankly, they don't deserve to be in your life. The coolest thing about the new mascots is that the Paralympic version actually features a prosthetic leg. Now, that was so awesome, it almost made me forget they chose a hat as their mascot. It wasn't even a new era hat. Now, I'll cut them a little bit of slack since the inclusivity makes up for the goofiness, but a hat, not even the Commanders would choose a hat as their mascot, and they don't have one. I chose to stick with a sports theme for this next story. A video showing a fan appearing to flirt with a woman by showing her his Costco card during the Detroit Mercy Boston College game has now been viewed over 20 million times on social media. Now, I can't tell if she's genuinely impressed or if that's sarcasm, but that was the shot of the night. I mean, for a broke college student, a Costco card is a game changer. You know what? I choose to believe she was genuinely impressed. I don't think they're that good of actors or actresses at that age, and I've seen some bad performances. This kid looked at her and said, "Let me upgrade your life." He is clearly a sugar daddy in the making. City boys! Look at him out here like a young Pete Davidson. The follow-up tweet from Frankensuede summed it up perfectly with a close-up of the guy behind them and the caption, "This man knew that the dude was pulling out the big guns." Look at it. Look at it. He's like, "Oh, snap. But you know how much damage I could cause if I had a Costco card?" He's like, "Oh, my God, a Costco card. He means business." Fellas, take note. Who needs a black card when you have Costco access? Yes, the economy has leveled the playing field. Go forth and thrive, my kings. No, not you, Nick Cannon. You've done enough. I chose this last story because if you've seen this show, you already know I love stories about weaves. Two women were detained in Colombia. That's the country. Don't you try and chalk this L up to my university. No, the country, Colombia, after attempting to smuggle nearly 2 kilos of cocaine in their hair extensions. Actually, that kind of story, that actually could have been in the Columbia area up in Harlem. 2 kilos? Man, they got some strong necks. They should have claimed to have a severe dandruff problem, the kind of dandruff that numbs your gums. I do have to feel bad for the hairdresser that had to sew in those giant hair weaves with built-in stash boxes. I mean, imagine being the official hairdresser of the underworld, just putting all those bundles in all those bundles. Somebody spent hours making these women look like real-life Bratz dolls, and guess what? They still got caught. Now, I do wonder if they seized those extensions. Like, imagine seeing that at the police auction. Up next, item number 107, that is 5 pounds of pure uncut Colombian remedy. It's a good thing that law enforcement prevailed because we need that auction. And we can't have these weave mules terrorizing the airwaves. Suppose one of them ends up in a seat next to you, out here looking like a feral cat with all that coke-filled hair. That would be a very long flight, especially if any of that got on you and your numbs got gum, then that makes it even longer because, it distorts time. Don't ask me how I know. My favorite story, the weave one, is hilarious, but I love everything about Costco Casanova, and I'm all for my city boys